Welcome to episode 21 of the Small Talk podcast with the Smallegan Real Estate team. Today we're here with Jen Koffman. Jen is a founder and owner of Grand Rapids Elderly Care, where their mission is to offer support to older adults and those that care for them by helping them find the best long-term care options and allowing to live their best lives. Thanks for coming in today, Jen.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Number one, how did you get into this business? How do you decide it was right for you?
Yeah, so I've always been super passionate about the elderly. I spent a lot of my summers on my grandparents' farm growing up.
Okay.
And so I am fiercely passionate about older adults, seniors. And I had an experience with my mom when she got sick. It's super complicated. There's a lot involved. Of course, it was a crisis situation. There's no pre-planning or anything like that. And so really
a lot of times that's the case, right?
Yeah. And I encourage people to think about it. It's not fun, but planning for the future is super important.
Yeah.
Even if you plan to stay home. So anyway, I wanted to help people avoid the situation I was in. So working full time, 2 littles at home. Thankfully, my husband was super supportive, and my mom was on the east side of the state. And I have siblings there too. So she was being well cared for. There's just a lot that goes into deciding what's the best place if you go home, what's the best options, hospice, there's many as well, and really just understanding what's available. I'm a hospice volunteer now.
Okay.
And so understanding what is available to patient and caregivers would have been super helpful. I think my mom's experience would have been better. Our experience with her would have been better. So I want to help people like me, 40s, 50s, 60s, midst of career, raising kids, really take the guesswork out of finding care when it's necessary.
Yeah.
And obviously the senior will be the beneficiary, and I want to make sure that they land in the right place where they're comfortable, they can live a good life, the quality of life is good.
I think everyone's goal should be to get old one day, right?
Right, absolutely.
And you only get to do it once.
Right.
And if you haven't been through it before, you're going to have a lot of questions, right?
Yes.
And it's great that you're, choosing to be an advocate for them and really be there to answer questions that you've helped other people answer.
Yeah.
And it's for me, it's like my mother, she's taking care of my grandfather and her father-in-law, and these people all spend their lives caring for others, and then when they need it, who's going to be there to help them? And it's great that there's people like you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I really just try to narrow down the options. There are an absolute ton of options, both in community and in-home care. So narrowing it down, having conversations and understanding what's your financial ability, your social interests, your healthcare needs, your geographical needs, and getting a real feel for the person, what they like, what would appeal to them. What's great for the family too when they come to visit, if they choose a community, knowing those things can help narrow down so you're not searching all over the place, going to communities where maybe there's no availability, or it's outside of your price range, or maybe it's too big, or maybe it's too small. So really narrowing it down helps the process, makes it a little less stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long have you been doing this?
So interestingly, I started the LLC in April of 2021. But
so not that long. Okay.
Not that long. But then, I got the website up and I was ready to start making visits. So for me, it was super important to tour as many communities as possible so I could get a feel for how the residents are living. Are they smiling when they're out and about? Is the staff interacting well? As a hospice volunteer, I have patients in communities, so I can see from a patient perspective, but also to see it from a resident perspective is pretty cool. Well, then my dad had a heart attack on Thanksgiving, and he lives with us. And so that kind of put a hold on things for a little bit. And so being a caregiver myself, it is important for me to make sure that the timing is right, that I can actually put everything I can into it. And so really, I didn't get started until like April, May of this year. So still fairly new.
Yeah.
It's been amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what type of services do you provide? Like, what do you do for people?
Yeah. So I try to meet people where they're at. Everyone's situation is very different. And so the needs are different. So really understanding what is going on. So I will go and meet with families, get a feel for what they're looking for, understand what their needs are. Like I said, the financial piece, where they want to be geographically, what their healthcare needs are, how immediate the need is, and then put together a list of options based on our conversation. And then I will do what my client is comfortable with. So if they want me to set up the tours, I will do that. If they want me to join the tours, often families just don't know what to ask. And so having an extra person with them who's done it a few times is helpful. So I will join tours. But I also, if families want privacy, I won't go on tours. It's really not about me. It's about my client and their loved ones. And so I will do what they need me to do. So I can coordinate different things. I've made connections with elder law attorneys, for example. If transportation is an issue, we can coordinate transportation. If you want to stay in your home and just need a couple of days of service a week, we can coordinate that.
Okay.
So really just depends on what the needs are.
How big is your company? How many people work with you?
It's just me.
Really?
So I say we because I feel like it's a family deal.
Yeah.
Just because, but I do it on my own.
Okay.
Yep, it's just me. So it's a bit of a grind.
Yeah.
I'm setting a foundation that I think is sustainable. I help a lot of clients I don't get paid for. But I think doing the right thing for the right reasons, the financial piece will come.
Sure.
Because like we can't get paid as a referral or placement agency when there's Medicaid, as an example.
Okay.
Those are things we can't get paid for. But I have a hard time saying I can't help you because...
Or the payment might be just like that feeling that you get, right?
Absolutely. So I do love to help people, and I know how difficult it is in the situation. So I never refuse. And so I need to get better at balancing that with the payment piece. But
for sure.
Things are, it's going well. I've made a lot of connections, met some amazing people. The communities in Grand Rapids are awesome. There are some amazing communities where it just feels good when you walk in.
Yeah.
Residents are out and about, smiling, enjoying life, different from what they ever thought it would be.
Yeah.
And so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and you get to see them afterwards, and
it's
I'm sure that's pretty awesome to get that feeling of helping somebody and putting them in a place where they're happy.
Oh yeah, makes all the difference.
That was one of my great grandmother. That was one of the things I always worried about with her, because she was so independent, and getting her into a place that would care for her,
right?
And having her actually like it and appreciate where she was at it was a totally different story.
Oh yeah.
But, yeah, that's awesome. So how are people finding you, through attorneys and your website, and how else?
Yeah. So I've made connections with different organizations like Hospice Care. As hospice, I understand there's a true need there. So I've connected with different hospices who will refer to me, even communities that maybe can't take a particular client for one reason or another. They will refer to me. So just really reaching out and getting involved, getting my name out there and company out there, it's been helpful. Different groups that I'm associated with, I gain referrals that way as well.
Okay. Yeah. How big is your reach? What areas do you help people?
So greater Grand Rapids area. So I will go to Lowell, Caledonia, out to Byron Center, Jenison, Granville, Comstock, Plainfield.
Sure. So what if somebody was outside of that area?
Yeah, so if I couldn't help them, I would try to connect them with another agency that could.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Is there a way to find those agencies, or do you have a pretty good list of different people?
Yeah, it's interesting. In my former career, part of my responsibility was doing market research and competitive analysis and really understanding what was out there. And I will tell you, it is kind of hard to find placement agencies.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that has to do with the different types of just the way we market our businesses and just good old digital marketing makes it a little bit challenging. So if you search online, but I also have connections through a group I'm with it's called the National Placement and Referral Alliance. So we have placement agents all over the country.
Sure.
So it makes it a little bit easier to find reputable placement agencies around the country.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
So with almost 2 years in business now, what's the biggest thing you've learned?
Oh my gosh. The biggest thing I've learned, I would say, is people really want to lift you up. So I came from transportation. I was in transportation for 17 years in sales and marketing. And so the healthcare piece was new to me. Having been a hospice volunteer, I've been involved. I was a candy striper in a long-term care facility in high school, candy striper volunteer. And so I've always had some type of background, but never worked in it. And so really getting to people who I could help, meaning social workers, discharge planners in hospitals and things like that, because they're doing a lot of what I do.
Okay.
And it's not their core responsibility. It takes a lot of time to find the right place. And so for me to get to those folks and really just consider me a free resource, I can take that off of your plate. It also obviously is good for my business. So that has been really, that's more of a challenge, I would say, I guess, than something I've learned. But getting back to the learning piece, people lifting you up. So as I meet different people in communities, for example, there is a woman, Margaret Howard, who has been absolutely amazing. She didn't have to help me the way she has, but she's really gotten me involved in a lot of different things within the senior care space that I don't know if I would have gotten to quite as quickly. I'm part of Advocates for Senior Issues. I just joined their executive committee, and she got me involved in that, and I'm learning an absolute ton. It's an amazing organization. So yeah, it's just really the amount of people that have taken time for me when they didn't have to has been pretty awesome.
I think that's true in a lot of cases where people want to help people that they feel like are good people, right?
Yeah.
So people want to see good people succeed.
Yeah.
And, the people like Margaret who seen that in you and was like, this is the person that I want to help and make sure she's able to help other people.
Oh,
so
she's made all the difference for me. Yeah.
Mentors are super important.
Yes.
And just learning from other people, that's awesome.
Absolutely.
I'm glad you get to do that in such a kind of a niche business, right?
It is, yeah.
So how would somebody decide, or how would somebody find you? So somebody's ready to maybe, make a decision about what type of care or steps are next for them?
Yep. Yeah, so you can reach me at my website, grelderlycare.com.
Okay.
Email, call. So, if you go to my website, everything is there. But I'm on social media. So Facebook, Instagram.
You're everywhere.
LinkedIn. I'm trying.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying. Yep.
So have you been to other areas and looked at like facilities in other parts of the state or country?
I haven't, except for, I guess that's not entirely true. On the east side in the Saginaw area.
Okay.
I have been to a couple different facilities there just because when my mom was sick. But Grand Rapids, nothing against Saginaw, I don't want to say that, but
Grand Rapids rules.
It's a pretty amazing place.
Yeah.
It helps. There's a fair amount of wealth here. So the economy is keeping things in really good shape, but the homes or the communities, it's the staffing that makes a big difference. So I've been on some tours, and the people giving me tours know the residents by name. And I'm talking in some of the most amazing communities, they literally know every resident by name. And the residents know them back.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. There's some awesome places here.
So I'm sure that's like the spirit of West Michigan kind of going into like elder care, right?
I'd say so, yeah, absolutely.
So why'd you pick Grand Rapids to start your business?
So I live here.
Oh.
I live in Ada.
Okay.
And I love it here. There's so much to do. The people are fantastic. Great place to raise a family. I wanted to be a part of the community in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
So part of my company, I feel it's important to give back, much like you're doing with me today.
Yeah.
So my referral, when I actually get paid, I give 5% of my fee to a charity of my clients' choosing.
That's awesome.
Thanks. Yeah, I think it's important. So I volunteer, so I give back of my time, but the resources I have, I want it to be a part of my company, and it's going to be a part of the GR elderly care culture. So that will always be a mainstay for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would you say to somebody looking to move to Ada or Grand Rapids area?
Do it.
Okay.
I would say do it. It's safe. Like I said, people are friendly. If you're a foodie, lots of great places to eat. Always something going on in Grand Rapids. I don't see leaving here anytime soon. I would say move here. Check it out. Come visit. Check it out. Get a feel for the areas. There's so many beautiful places in Grand Rapids. The downtown is awesome and growing and fun.
Changing all the time.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So somebody's coming from out of state to visit you that has never been to Grand Rapids or Ada before. Where's the first place you take them?
Oh, the first place I would take them. Well, honestly, if it's summer, the downtown, walking around downtown is awesome. I would do that. I mean, the river walk is awesome. And I know that there's going to be some construction connecting us to, I think, Grand Haven.
I've heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
going
to be awesome. Stuff. Yeah. So downtown, there's so many things to do downtown. I'm really glad Dr. Grins is back. Love comedy shows. There's some great stuff here. So yeah.
Yeah, I went to see Bert last night, and that was amazing.
We're supposed to go tonight.
So
yeah.
I didn't know he was in town twice. That's
cool.
That's great. So so you started this your first business that you started?
It is.
Okay, and what would be your top tip for somebody thinking about starting a business?
Get involved.
Okay.
For sure. Yeah. There are so many. So I'm involved in a women's professional group and forum.
Okay.
Really focused on lifting up women and trying to elevate them in their careers.
Yeah.
That's helping me in my business that has a ton of opportunity to meet different people, connect with different business leaders. I would say get involved whenever you can, for sure.
Okay. And what did you do before starting all of this?
I was with a very large global transportation company.
Okay.
For 17 years, sales and marketing, always in business development. That was quite a ride.
So what were some of the things that you've learned in that business that you've applied to yours?
Oh my gosh. I'm so thankful for that opportunity, because really what I did every day was trying to, at my former job, really help companies set themselves apart from their competition. What's the differentiator? And so for me and mine, I'm learning that there are a lot of senior placement agencies in Grand Rapids.
Yeah.
So I really had to think about what sets me apart, what differentiates me. How can I grow my business among all of the other agencies that are out there? In my time with transportation, I was in marketing. When I would walk in, they're like, we pick up and deliver packages. Like, what are you here for? So I really had to bring a strong value proposition, and I need to do that today. So everything I learned at that job, even though it's a completely different industry, really set me up to make it easier. And like I said, it is a grind. I have to learn the healthcare side of the business, really get more in tune with making connections at hospitals, for example, and understanding the lingo and different things like that. So that's a big challenge. That's a huge learning opportunity for me. I continue to learn every day something new that's affecting or impacting seniors. And so having the experience that I did in a company that demands excellence every day, it was, I'll never regret having spent my time there. Never thought I'd be where I am. I'm
Sure.
so thankful for the opportunities I have. I'm risk averse, so this is kind of scary. But, it's okay if it's not scary. Then I don't know if I'm challenging myself enough. So yeah, I'm thankful for the background I have. Taught me a ton, and so it's really helping me on the business side of this new venture.
Yeah, so I think two of the biggest things that can help somebody are having empathy for the type of people you're helping, right? And then also loving what you do, which I think both of them you do really well. And,
Thanks.
That's, I'm sure, big part of why you have success in such a short time. That's awesome.
Thank you.
So, so being a business owner, right, there's going to be tons of directions you're going to be pulled every day, right?
Oh, yeah.
How do you keep a good work-life balance?
Yeah.
Or you still spend time with your family and do your job at the same time?
Yep. So I really have had to hone in on what's the most important thing right now. What do I need to do at work to be successful and build a sustainable business while at the same time being there for my kids and spending time with my husband. So if I need to get up early in the morning when everyone's still sleeping and get a couple of hours in, I do that. If sometimes I work on the weekends, and so if there's some time during the week I can sneak away, I do that. So it's really finding pockets of time. But honestly, more importantly, it's being present when I'm with my kids or with my husband. I think that's the biggest thing. It's the quality of time, not necessarily the quantity of time. But right now, I think I'm doing a decent job. I stay up after the kids go to bed if I need to. So really just finding time.
So if you were to win the lottery, what would be the first thing that you'd buy?
The first thing I would buy.
Or invest in, or do for your business or for your family? Yeah,
so I know exactly what I would do with the money.
Okay.
Not necessarily the first thing I would buy. So things aren't really that important, although I'd love a pair of red bottoms.
All right.
But a long time ago, before I had kids, I think when the Electrolux was still in business.
Sure.
I think out in Greenville. I remember when the plant was closing. And there was an interview on the news with a woman, a single mom. Her kids were teenagers, just bought their first home ever, and she is losing her job. And I'll never forget. I don't know her name, but I remember the feeling I had that there's so many people that are just making it. They're working really hard. They want to do good. They want to provide. And something like that happens that they couldn't plan for. So I would invest so that I could always provide a little bit of help to the people that are really trying hard, where maybe they don't qualify for government assistance because they're making too much, even though they're struggling every day. So that's what I would do. I would set up a foundation to help people, everyday people, who need just a little bit of help.
That's beautiful.
That's what I would do.
So if you could go back to your 18-year-old self, like everything that you know now, what would you tell yourself?
I would say to be nicer to myself.
To yourself?
Not to other people. I'm super nice to everyone else. I'm very critical of myself. I put a lot of pressure on myself. I would say just take a deep breath. It's going to be okay. Yeah, to be nicer to myself, because mistakes are going to happen.
Yeah.
The most growth happens when you fail.
Fail forward. That was actually
fail forward.
A thing. There was a few local speakers that talked about their failures and how they use them to learn and to grow from them. And you don't make progress without making mistakes, right? So that's awesome.
I would say be okay with that.
So what's one thing that I didn't ask that you wish I would have?
Maybe what surprised me the most was starting a business.
Okay.
I would say the thing that has surprised me the most is how much more rewarding it is than I thought. So I've been a volunteer for a long time. I love giving back. But this has been an opportunity for me where I can do more.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that I'm okay with not getting paid sometimes. I
think you are getting paid.
I
They're
think
paying
maybe
you in
that's
gratitude
why.
and
I think
good
that's
feelings,
why.
right?
Yeah.
Like it's just a different type of payment.
Yeah, and I guess that's what's surprising.
Okay.
I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that kind of fulfillment and reward when I'm a business owner. I'm in business to make money.
Yeah.
But it's okay when that doesn't happen, as long as I can contribute to the family finances and help people. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
You get paid in experience, right?
Absolutely.
And in future situations, you're going to be that much more better prepared and hopefully get referrals from it too, right? Just from really putting your clients first, which is great that you do that.
Thank you. And I think that's why I go back to, if you do the right things for the right reasons, good things will happen. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about where this can go.
Yeah.
And how many people I can help.
Well, it was really great to get to know you and your
Thank
business and your story.
Thank you.
And I'm sure that you're going to get lots of phone calls from this. Who knows? But how could someone get a hold of you again, just one more time?
Yeah, of course. My website is grelderlycare.com. Phone number, email is listed there. There's a comment section or a contact sheet. Fill it out. Get a hold of me. I'm available, and I would say don't wait. There are so many people that wait too long. Even if you just want to explore, get some ideas, have a better feel for the future, it really makes a difference. And when you can feel secure, you can take a deep breath. So anytime.
So might be a little off topic, but
Okay.
One of my friends was saying that his mother actually has elder care insurance.
Okay.
Is that something that you like discuss or talk about with people?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I don't obviously sell insurance.
Sure.
I can direct you. But, elder care insurance is interesting. I feel like I'm always learning about, I was listening to Kent County Veterans representative, and it depends. Everything depends. So depending on your situation, what your needs are, there's a lot of resources out there that I can connect people with. You don't have to be looking necessarily for care now. If you need some resources, reach out. I'm happy to make connections. Elder care insurance is important. If you have it, I'm understanding that a great deal amount of people have it.
Right.
It's kind of elusive a little bit. Not sure when you can use it. There are certain things you have to meet, certain criteria you have to meet in order to use it. So and if I don't know the answer, I'll either find it or get you to the person that can help. So,
Education and putting together a plan, right?
Yeah,
Super
absolutely.
important.
So important.
So
planning.
I really appreciate you joining
Thank you.
us, and I look forward to seeing everything that you do.
Thank you.
But thanks again for coming in.
Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Right. Thank you for watching this episode of the Small Talk Podcast with the Smallegan Real Estate team. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out our earlier episodes.